guys, welcome to the new M3. In this video, we'll walk you around this thing, show you what it's like to drive, get some first impressions on what this latest generation of M3 is like on the road. This is the M3 Competition. The Competition has 503 horsepower and it comes with an 8-speed ZF automatic. Awesome transmission. The base model M3 comes with a 6-speed manual, which we will be testing in a few weeks. So excited to get behind the wheel of that. This one though starts at around just under $73,000. As spec'd, we've got a considerable amount of options. This is 93 grand as tested, but of course you can build and customize your M3 however you want it when you order one. I think this new M3 is probably one of the last great M cars without a 4-cylinder engine or a hybrid powertrain. And not to say those won't be great, but I don't mind the grille. It's fine. It's okay. After seeing the initial leaked factory photos, I think this was a real shocker for a lot of people. But in person, after seeing it and living with it for a little while, you drive this car, none of it matters. There's some other really cool styling elements with this new M3. I think the headlights look fantastic, except for the sticker in there. That looks kind of weird. These wheels are just, look how thin these spokes are. This also has the carbon ceramic brake package. I think it's an $8,000 option. Whoa, yeah. Look at these new mirrors. You think this is connected, but it's actually not. Kind of a fun feature. The 4-door sedan configuration M3 just, I mean, talk about practical performance. We've got a couple storage compartments back here, a good sized trunk. Those seats fold down and it's a pretty wide opening. You could fit quite a lot through the pass-through there. Actually, let's see what that looks like. Oh yeah, you could fit a mountain bike in your M3. Nice low loading floor too. Yeah. Definitely a little bit more practical than the M4. If I were getting one of these, I'd get the 4-door. I think it's just cool. Sporty looking seat backs, but you know, no carbon buckets or anything like that. No places to put things. You do get rear climate control though, so that's nice. A couple USB-C ports. Pretty standard interior for the new 3 Series. We've reviewed this car, done a lot of videos on it. It works great. The iDrive system is nice. Infotainment works pretty well. The ergonomics are quite user-friendly once you get used to them. The materials in here are pretty top-notch, as you'd expect from almost $100,000 car. Little Alcantara touches all throughout. Yeah, this new M3 is proper. We've got a Harman Kardon sound system. I assume it's pretty similar to all the others in M products. Let's take a look at this engine. 503 horsepower, tons of torque. It's a beast. Super lightweight hood. All right, let's hop in. We'll take this thing for a drive. M stitching colors on the seat belts. Oh yes. So, as usual, we've got a couple M mode buttons that you can configure to your preferences. M1, which I have configured to be Sport Engine Comfort Shocks, Sport Steering Comfort Brake Feel, and then M2, which turns some things off and puts me in Sport Plus Engine, Comfort Shock, Sport Steering, Sport Brake Feel. It's nice that you can go in and customize these. You can go in and change your M traction control, which is basically just a drift angle slider. That's fun. The suspension is a little bit stiff in Sport and Sport Plus, so for street driving, I'm just leaving this in comfort, and it feels pretty good. It's good for daily driving. It's a little on the stiff side, but it's fine. You also have this M mode gauge cluster set up, which just kind of shows you 2 RPM bars on both sides and what gear you're in and your speed, which is also a pretty fun visualization. Decent reverse camera, 360 parking sensors, all that good stuff. I think, do we have 360 view? I think it's we just have a rear view camera in this car. Climate control buttons, dials, knobs, switches, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless charging. let's go for a drive. The 8-speed ZF automatic was a bit of a surprise to me in this car. I was kind of shocked that they went with a torque converter automatic, but it's fine. It's a nice transmission. Daily driving, it is almost tuned to feel like a dual clutch off the line. It'll kind of let off, and your initial coast off brake is kind of aggressive, almost like it's letting out a clutch, which is kind of cool. It feels a little bit more special. It feels a little bit snappier and more responsive than a lot of the other ZF 8-speeds in BMW products, and it should. So, nothing wrong with that. I think it's a great transmission. I mean, you'll see how it drives in this video. Definitely not as snappy and direct and engaging and maybe as exciting as a dual clutch, but that's okay. I don't think you're losing that much ultimately in excitement factor here. Oh yes, a lot of performance here, you guys. This thing pulls like you will not believe. The old M3 felt quick. That was a fast car, but this really does take things to another level. I'm actually not crazy about this M mode gauge setup. Let's just keep it simple here. There we go. We're good. Yeah, this thing it's a rocket ship. It's really, really fast. 503 horsepower, finally getting over 500 horsepower in the M3, and it feels every bit of it. And if you know BMW, it's 503 wheel, and maybe then a little bit more. Yeah, they always underrate their cars just a tad, and that's exciting. You've got full manual control too. Downshifting with this 8-speed is just, you get some little pops and burbles on the overrun. Super quick, snappy upshifts. You really do have to be careful with this car. It has so much power. The speeds that it achieves are just numbers that climb at a crazy fast rate. I'm sure we've got a lot of piped-in sound, but even so, it sounds pretty good. These carbon ceramics are a bit sensitive. You get used to modulating them on the street, but there's quite a bit of braking force, and they feel a little bit over boosted. The brake pedal on this is a little bit light and sensitive. Honestly, steel brakes might be the way to go. A lot of thoughts, a lot of expletives. Basically, this thing is nuts. It's just wicked fast. It does speeds on the street that you will struggle to find the limits of this car. It's pretty impressive. The grip, the handling, the power, it's all ticked up a notch. They've taken this new M3 to another level, and the performance here is truly satisfying. It's impressive. It wows you every time. You think you're ready, you're not ready. You go into a corner at crazy speeds, you maintain that speed, you go faster through the corner. These seats hold you in beautifully. You've got adjustable bolsters down here with a little control. There's a lot going on, you guys. This new M3 is a powerhouse. It's going to be embarrassing some other higher powered, higher dollar cars on the track for sure in the coming months, years, and over the life cycle of this car. It's pretty cool. These are really some of my first impressions driving this car in a spirited manner. So yeah, you guys are getting my initial reactions to this thing. It's pretty bonkers. All right, let's go hunt down some more corners and see what else this M3 can do. so fast now. The old M3 was quick. The F80 generation was quick, but this is just another level. It really pulls. It really comes into its own. There's torque everywhere. There's so much grip. These tires are just amazing. And then this turns into a pretty great cruiser. Very comfortable on the highway. A little bit of tire noise, but it feels about like an M car. Maybe a little bit more comfortable. The automatic transmission does help smooth out some of that experience. Throttle tip-in is still pretty aggressive. I mean, this is the turbo inline 6, so it's going to give you a lot of boost initially, and there isn't a ton of throttle modulation, but that's okay. You get used to all the power. It's been a long time since I've driven a previous generation M3, but I'm feeling like this latest M car is just slightly more refined, a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more livable. It's a great car. The performance here is absolutely mind-blowing. I'm very impressed with the speed, the power, the torque, everything just, it's shocking. I think we've lost a little bit in terms of engagement with the automatic, the 8-speed CF. The dual clutch had just this snappiness and directness. You really felt connected to the drivetrain in that car. Pretty close to a manual almost. And this automatic gets a little bit sloppier, gets a little bit more sluggish and less responsive. But does it really matter that much? No. If you want the engaging M3, get the base manual. This still is just one of the best automatics in the world, in the car industry, and I honestly can't complain that much. It's not losing that much personality with the ZF 8-speed. Traction control system is just wild. The way you can dial in drift angle, it's just the coolest thing. Oh my gosh, you guys. What does +2 do? Oh yeah, a little bit more angle. Just wicked fast. And I love how you can customize your M1 and M2 buttons. M Drift Analyzer. No, don't tempt me, not on the street. We'll do +1 and save it there. The traction control system in this is really good. You can just dial in that amount of slip that you want, that level of intervention that you want, and it just holds it there. But it still somehow manages to make you feel like a bit of a hero, and that's a good thing. This new M3 gets a lot of attention. It gets a lot of looks. People are interested. People are checking it out. It's a sharp car. Whatever you think about the front end, the front grille, in person, I don't mind it anymore. I think it looks just fine. In photos, it was just, I think it was an initial shock to see those leaked images in the factory, and compared to the previous generations, this is a very different look. It's a very different car. There's a lot of styling going on, that's for sure, but I don't really think about it much anymore after spending a few days with this car. So, anyway, I'm sure everyone has their own opinions. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, as I always like to say, but once you get behind the wheel of this thing and start throwing it around, you forget about what the front end looks like or what the rest of the car looks like, and just you're just holding on for dear life, trying to anticipate the next corner in time. A mind-bending performance, at least least after driving a bunch of crossovers and SUVs the last month. Let's put it into manual mode and see how it responds with the paddles. It's pretty good. Like I said, not as snappy as a DCT, but not far off. Whoa. You guys, I don't know if there's any other cars that can do these speeds around an entrance ramp on street tires. The list it's really short. Can't wait to get this on track. We're in about a month or so, we're testing a base manual car on track at Gingerman Raceway, and I think that'll be a really fun day. Not the automatic, but I don't know. I think with a car like this, I would go for the manual 100%. The fact that they're still offering a manual in this latest generation was kind of a surprise to me. They must still sell enough of them. And I've heard good things from people on the manual transmission with this car. That might be the way to go. Even if it's exactly like all the other manuals that BMW has produced, a little bit rubbery, a little bit, longer throws, I would be totally okay with that transmission in this car. I think, a good 6-speed and a high-performance sedan doesn't exist anymore. This is it. It's the M3. And you've got the Lotus Evora, the GT3. That list is just shrinking year by year. And get it while you can. The ZF automatic is great, but unless if you don't know how to drive stick or you don't want to deal with it, I think the 6-speed manual is the way to go in this car. And I think the power band with this engine can handle the 6-speed gear spacing. In the past, turbocharged M cars have struggled because each gear you'll kind of shift out of that torque area. But this is above 3,500 RPM. There's a lot going on here. Makes a pretty good noise too. A little bit droney at the upper registers, but gives you the feeling that you're in something loud, fast, crazy. Definitely stiffer, definitely busier ride. You feel it. Comfort mode felt fine to me. And like we've had in M cars for the last few generations, you can adjust your shift ferocity here. Will it hold gears? It will. Yes, it will. Let's see what this M mode looks like. It's kind of weird looking. I'm not really a fan of it, but that's okay. I think the standard gauge setup works just fine. Maybe if you're on track and you want that massive rev counter in front of you. But honestly, if you're on track, this is probably just going to do a fine job shifting on its own. So much torque. A few more burbles. Well, that was a fun drive. some first impressions and initial thoughts on the new M3. Guys, this is, as always, one of the staple high-performance sports cars in the auto industry. This is encroaching upon kind of almost supercar territory. The performance here is just pretty bonkers. Maybe I just haven't been driving some fast cars lately, but this new M3 is, they brought things up a few notches. And from a power level, from a grip and handling level, this thing really delivers. It's impressive. So anyway, we'll be sharing some more videos with you on this week, trying not to get arrested using that off-the-record ad integration. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Stay tuned for some more videos later this week. We'll also be posting onto Winding Road Magazine's YouTube channel. And in about a month, can't wait to drive the 6-speed manual M3 base model. This competition definitely delivers, definitely has some strong points. This automatic is pretty flawless, honestly. Not as exciting as the dual clutch, but I think that's okay. It does the job. And if you really want that engagement factor, go get yourself a 6-speed. Cool. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Take it easy. Alright guys, well, little bonus section at the end here. Let's test out this Harman Kardon sound system, see what it's like. I assume it's going to be pretty similar to what all the other Harman Kardon sound systems in BMWs are like, but you never know until you find out. Gesture controls. What happens when we turn the surround all the way up? Ooh, that's fun. It's probably a little bit too much, but cool. respectable sound system. Not as clear and crisp as I would really love to have in this car, but I think you could probably tune it a little bit, increase the treble a tad, and get a little bit better clarity out of it. But it's pretty good. I think most people will be happy with this for the price of this car, and it does have to compete with the engine soundtrack, which is how this thing is. It's kind of challenging. Thanks for watching, guys. That's it for this one. Truly, this is the end of the video. I just wanted to keep driving this thing, so that's why we've continued on and on and on. But if you're still here, thanks for watching. I'm not mad about it. We'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.